Bronchitis, it's easy to make a career out of bronchitis because it's changing all the time. So there's always something new to be discovered. This avian coronavirus is one of the very few that can continue to change and mutate and create new variants. And because they are not cross-protective, it's so difficult to control this disease. It's the viral polymerase that the virus uses to replicate itself doesn't have any way to proofread itself. It's sort of like there's no spell check, if you will, for the virus. And so when it makes a mistake, it can't fix it. And by doing that over and over and over again, some of the mistakes it makes gives the virus an advantage. They change slowly over time. So, and slowly is a relative term. I mean, what we have this year is going to be different than what we have next year. A lot of the vaccines that we have, we can combine some of those different strains of vaccine to get a broader antibody response in a bird, and that will have some cross-protective ability with some of the strains that are out there. Georgia 08 was a particular problem virus. Of course, it was isolated in Georgia in 2008. That virus, its origins was actually in California. There were some viruses in California that mutated, changed, jumped over the mountain range, if you will, got into the East Coast, and then we were having to deal with a susceptible poultry population with that particular virus. What we found was the vaccines that we had available to us in any combination would not protect against that particular variant. It's just one of those unique situations where that particular one, there was just no protection. There was a company in Georgia that got what's called a conditional use license to create a vaccine from one of the viruses that were actually isolated from their birds. They created a vaccine, made a bunch of it, used it for a little while. And the virus, apparently the vaccine worked very well, the virus went away, and that company since stopped using that vaccine. Then, about a year and a half later, maybe 2 years later, we found the virus again, not in Georgia this time, in a neighboring state. And it proceeded to start spreading through those birds. And so the vaccine was brought back out again, and then a commercial company got a hold of it and started to make it and got a license. The virus can replicate in epithelial cells of the upper respiratory tract, of the kidney, or of the reproductive tract. But what we've learned is that co-infection type studies, where we'll have one virus come in and cause a disease or a problem, and then we'll have another one come in on top of that, they can go one of two ways. They can either actually be worse because there's two of them that are involved, or it can be that the second virus actually doesn't cause near a severe problem because the immune system's already geared up as a result of the first one. They'll all cause disease. So if you got LT in a flock, and it's a very pathogenic, highly virulent LT, that's what you're going to find. Bronchitis is going to be under the radar. You'll never see it. The bronchitis is a factor when we have weather like this, where it's cold and the houses are shut up, and the virus is highly infectious, and it's changing all the time.